Hi, I'm Mikey, a medical cannabis patient from Ohio. I'm 5 months into my 11-month stay in prison for possession of less than 1/4 of a gram of marijuana. I call it prison because pain is a prison, and I've been virtually bedridden and housebound since October 18, 2006, the day a couple of highly motivated cops decided to end all crime in my town by busting me for medical marijuana. When the people say in the media that Ohio has decriminalized marijuana possession, they're wrong. Ohio just exchanged one type of prison for another. Today I begin the really fun part of my incarceration, the 6-month driver license suspension that Ohio mandates for simple possession. Had I been promptly tried, read right to a speedy trial, I would be but a month or so from completing my suspension. Foot dragging on the part of my court-appointed attorney dragged this case out so long that it overlapped a series of needed medical procedures that conflicted with court scheduling. His extended Christmas vacation and ensuing regular vacation took precedence over my civil rights, and I wouldn't have required these expensive procedures had the police and court let me use my medicine as I have for more than 10 years. I'm essentially immobile, so the judge in my case has allowed me liberal driving privileges, pending my passage of a urinalysis, that is. Ohio has already one of the most stringent DUID laws in the nation, but I'm being held to a higher standard. I don't have to meet the pre-employment standard of 50 nanograms per milliliter of urine, or the tougher 15 nanogram level that the Ohio DUI standard bases itself on. I have to meet the zero tolerance level of 0 nanograms per milliliter that was recently repealed in Ohio as an unfair standard and is most often applied to convicted felons. I've used medical cannabis 5 times in the last 5 months. The most recent was 3 weeks ago after a relapse of my back condition did not respond to my pharmaceutical medications, which were also recently increased by 50%. I used less than a gram of cannabis to medicate, yet 3 weeks later, I still tested 50 nanograms. THC apparently has the same effective half-life as uranium. I am now undergoing a series of radiofrequency ablations, meaning the doctors are forced to burn off the nerves coming from my spinal cord to relieve my pain. I've had 2 back surgeries already, and I've had sprains and broken bones frequently, but these nerve-burning procedures are the most painful thing I have ever experienced in my life, and I have 3 more to go. Not to mention the cost, which is exorbitant and paid for by the taxpayers of Ohio. The next time your Medicare or other insurance premiums go up, you can thank your local law enforcement officers. I'm disabled and receive just $631 per month in Social Security disability insurance. But that didn't keep the judge in my case from levying a $100 fine, $75 court costs, and a whopping $425 license reinstatement fee. $425 for a clerk to press a few keys on a computer doesn't seem quite equitable, but the state of Ohio is in it for the money, and compassion is only found in the dictionary in this state, right between callousness and crap. Although Governor Ted Strickland has said he will sign the Medical Marijuana Compassionate Use Act into law when it reaches his desk, many of our state legislators are too afraid of hurting their political careers to sponsor or co-sponsor this vitally needed piece of legislation. Meanwhile, the ill, injured, and dying of Ohio continue to be thrown under the wheels of the Justice Department's garbage truck. This poor treatment of the disabled is only perpetuated by losers like Steve Steiner of Dads and Moms Against Drug Dealers, DAMMADD, when he blames marijuana for the OxyContin overdose death of his son, a young man that obviously lacked proper parental guidance and supervision, Steve. The Supreme Court supports such misinformation and criminalization of medical cannabis when they disallow cases like Angel Rachel's when hers is obviously life-threatening. To the justices on the Supreme Court, you're appointed for life, so you do not have to worry about getting voted out when you do the right thing. Perhaps the Supreme Court and Steve Steiner of DAMMAD should leave medicine to the doctors and politicking to the politicians. Perhaps these bodies should concentrate on truth, compassion, education, and the right to choose. As a short afterword, I believe that polygraph tests ought to be mandatory for any police officer that does not have audio or video confirmation of cases and charges brought against individuals suspected of breaking the law. I listened in wonder while the prosecutor read a statement by the officer that busted me and thought this must be another case. It was so full of misrepresentations, read lies, and wrong facts that I thought the judge would dismiss the case. Even the inventory of what was confiscated did not match what they actually presented as evidence against me. I also believe that vindictive prosecution of individuals for expressing their First Amendment right to free speech ought to result in lifetime disbarment for the prosecutor involved and the judge that fines for the prosecutor. Please support the Ohio Patient Network. You could be next.